How many types of non-metallic luster? So remember, we have minerals that look like metals. That's metallic. But we have some that don't. Non-metallic. This one is called vitreous. Non-metallic, looks like plastic, is called pearly. Pearly. Non-metallic, earthy. Earthy. And this one is kind of weird. This is called resinous, where it looks shiny and then not shiny. Shiny, not shiny. So it's waxy or resinous. So there are 4: earthy, vitreous, pearly, resinous. Who made the hardness scale? We scratch the minerals with the glass and the penny and the nail. We find out its number. That was made by a man named Frederick Mohs, M-O-H-S. It is called the Mohs hardness scale. Diamond is the hardest and talc is the softest. What is the hardest common mineral? Now remember, we have lots of the first few minerals. Those are common. We find them everywhere. But we do not have a lot of these. These are gemstones. Pretty, worth money. So the hardest common mineral is quartz. Quartz is a 7 on the hardness scale. It even scratches glass. Leaves a scratch. It's a 7. It is a silicate, silicon and oxygen. Silicon and oxygen. And it makes up sand. Silicon and oxygen is sand. You can see it has pretty crystal. It's vitreous. It's a hexagon shape. Quartz. Okay, so we have learned 5 mineral tests, right? Color, luster, the way it reflects light, crystal shape, density, hardness. So we're going to do 2 more today, 2 more tests. Test number 6 is called streak. And what we do is we take this plate, this one's very dirty, lots of people have tested it, and we take the mineral and we see if some of the powder comes off. Powder, the color. Well, this one we have to be careful because some of the minerals make weird powders. This one, you think it would be silver, but it actually makes a brown or red powder. Some of them don't leave any powder. They're either too hard. Quartz does not leave a powder because it's too hard. Or they leave a white powder and it's hard to see on here. So that's why sometimes we use a black streak plate. Color of the powder. Very easy test, but some of them do not have streaks. I showed you these 2 minerals a couple of times. This is called hematite, and they are the same. We know that one is metallic and one is earthy, non-metallic. We know they're the same because they have the same streak. They both have a reddish brown streak because they're made of iron and oxygen, iron oxide. Looks like rust. Rust is brown. Okay, last test. Cleavage or fracture. So if I take a mineral and I smash it with a hammer, it sometimes breaks. We call that cleave. If it gets cut, like a cleaver, you cut with it. So if we get nice smooth edges, it will always break that way. And it has to do with its crystal shape. This is salt, halite. And remember, salt is sodium, chlorine, in a pattern. And the pattern always makes a cube. So if I hit this with a hammer, guess what I get? More cubes, just smaller ones. That's called cleavage. So it splits along nice smooth edges. Here's another one. This is the one that has lead, and it also has cubes when it breaks. This one is a cube, but it's tilted. In math, we call that a rhombus, right? Because it's got a tilt to it, but it still has directions of smooth cleavage. So if it's a perfect cube, we say it has 3. It has 1, 2, and 3. Length, width, and height. 3 directions, all at 90 degrees. Sodium, chlorine, sodium, chlorine. Here's a weird one. See how flat it is? But on the edge, it's rough. So this is like a sandwich. It is 1 direction of cleavage. 1 direction, it's flat. 1. So we give cleavage a number. 1, 3. This mineral has 2. It's flat here, and it's flat here, and it makes that angle. But everything else is rough, not flat. This one has 2. So we have 1 cleavage, 2 cleavage, 3 cleavage. You can have lots of numbers. I already showed you this one. This is called calcite. It's in limestone. Calcite is 3, but it's tilted like a rhombus. We have fluorite, and I don't have a good piece, but that has 4. It has 4 cleavage. 4 different directions in a pyramid. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different angles. Now, if it does not have cleavage, if it's not smooth, then we say it is fracture. Fracture is rough, bumpy. Fracture, not smooth. Sometimes it can get curves when it breaks, circles, like a shell, like a conch. And if it is, has curves or circles, we say that is conchoidal. Here's one. It's kind of got a curved break there. So that is conchoidal fracture. We only have 1 or 2 that do this. We also have ones that are fibrous. It might be hard for you to see, but they have little lines that go all up and down the mineral. They look like little hairs, except longer hairs than I have. Those little hairs, that is fibrous fracture. Not smooth, kind of rough and bumpy. And if it doesn't fit any of those, we say it's irregular, just kind of bumpy all over. No smooth breaks, nothing flat. Okay, 3 main types: conchoidal, fibrous, or irregular.